Hello guys, it's the GreenJade here. If you don't know me, well, welcome to my channel and thank you for tuning in. I am a Zoophilia activist like our dear friend Aluski, who has recently been a viewer in my videos, which thank you for watching my video, as I really appreciate it that you have done such things. You have done wonderful things, and I think you deserved way better than what you were given. Anywho, I'm here to talk about something that may get some of you riled up just by the fucking title. Haters and zoophiles themselves will find this video at first glance when they see the title that it might be something offensive, but on the other hand, I'm proving one of the biggest insults towards zoophilias that we get on a constant daily basis. Everything starts off with the one saying that everyone has said. I've had friends, I've had family say it to me. You need help. So I decided to do exactly that. Now I'm not going to be documenting my experience through therapy because I don't want to go to therapy. So instead I took some good sources off the internet, which you will be seeing on the screen as I read about them. Anywho, I have four links, 4 things open, and we're going to start with the medical definition of zoophilia. Just because it is important to make sure and reassure that we know what we're talking about, even though we do, but some of you don't. So for those who don't, or some of us who need to be reconfirmed what it is, according to the medical definition, zoophilia is a sexual disorder involving an erotic attraction to animals or an abnormal desire to have sexual contact with animals. Zoophilia is one form of paraphilia, deviant sexual behavior. Well, that's where things get weird. The fact that they list it as a paraphilia, people like to say it's a mental disorder, which their reason to that is from the DSM-2R, I think it was, just the DSM. Anywho, it used to list a bunch of things. Yeah, the DSM-3R, the DSM-5 subsumed it and changed it. But anywho, so here we go delving into this long ass thing, but let's actually talk about the treatment before no, you know what, let's talk about this. So if you don't know what the DSM is, it's a list of diagnosed mental disorders, or at least list a mental disorder. It's, how do I put it? It's where every mental disorder is listed and categorized by, like, tiers and categories. Well, originally in the DSM, it was listed as a mental disorder, but in that same DSM listing, homosexuality was listed there. And there is no cure for homosexuality except for hypnosis, which worked okay-ish, but it was mostly reinforced with pain or bad experiences to thinking about whatnot. But beyond that, they changed it in the DSM-3R, which removed homosexuality, but also completely dropped zoophilia as a thing for a little while. And then the DSM-5 relisted it under the classification of paraphilias, which are not considered mental disorders. This is sexual deviancies. But I'm not going to go over what this whole thing says. It's on the screen. You can read what this guy said. He lists his sources in the sources on Yahoo Answers, but I don't want to get carried away and read this whole thing. But right now, there's no cure for it, at least in this article. The next article that I'm going to read is from Hannah Malitsky, or at least a quotation or citation from Hannah Malitsky's Zoophilia article, which I have actually read the whole entire thing of. It's a great read. I recommend for those who haven't read it to read it. You'll find it interesting, but she did a study. And the study a descriptive study of 82 men and 11 women who had sexual relations with animals revealed that the majority of its subjects report being happy and not wanting to change. The study involved a 350-item, 23-page anonymous questionnaire which was self-administered and returned via postal mail. Subjects reported that acceptance of their bestiality and zoophilia is the most important factor for their sense of well-being. Clinically, it appeared that in most cases of true zoophilia, this condition is not treatable. The sexual acting out can be stopped when the person is highly motivated, but the attraction and the desire will always be there. Zoophiles may come to the attention of sex therapists, counselors, and educators for a variety of other reasons. Living a life of secrecy, as many zoophiles do, can lead to many psychological issues, such as depression, anxiety, fear, feelings of isolation, and suicidal ideation. It's basically suicidal thoughts. Anyways, however, many will not reveal their true selves unless they feel that they can trust the mental health professional to be confidential, non-judgmental, open-minded, and accepting. It is, therefore, imperative to learn more about the phenomenon of bestiality and zoophilia so that the sex therapists, counselors, and educators can understand zoophilia therapeutic needs and be able to discuss their issues with the client and students in a supportive, empathetic manner. This is what Hannah Malinsky cited in her study. This was Taylor and Francis Online has this written down. Link will also be in the description to this quote. If you want to go check out Hannah Malinsky's actual book, just search up Hannah Malinsky, Zoophilia. You will find a whole long-ass page, and I recommend you sit down and read it. But she made it clear as day. Her study had come to a conclusion that being a zoophile can lead to mental disorders because the way we live. Zoophilia is not a mental disorder, never has been, and will not be. We know it's a sexual deviancy. We know it's a fetish. But fetishes and sexual deviancies don't mean they're mental disorders. Now, zoophilials do suffer from anxiety, depression, all of such thoughts of suicide because of how they live. Living under a secret, living a lie to everybody. Basically, lying to everyone you know will cause unwelcomed problems, and I have experienced my fair share of those unwelcome problems, so as many other zoophiles, and some of those people who were not here had experienced them and couldn't deal with them. My goal is to make it possible to where people can live not the secret life that we have to live, where we're always feeling we're on the run. Some of us more than others. Me, I've had people come after my life. So my secrecy was more important for months. I refused to do anything that would reveal myself. But I'm back after thinking about it, after people came and talked to me, after multiple conversations in Discord and Xbox. I found out that the best way to get over my fears is to conquer them. So I'm here to conquer my fears by letting everyone know what I think of people who come after me. But that's for another video. But right now, we're going to go to a site, therightdiagnostic.com. It lists zoophilia and possible treatments. And here's what they list. The list of treatments mentioned in various sources for zoophilia includes the following list. Always seek professional medical advice about any treatment or change in treatment plans as they start everything off. Now, you will hear that none of these will fix the problem through a subject's willingness to fix the problem. Psychoanalysis, hypnosis, behavioral therapy, cognitive therapy, drug therapy, and if treatment is not, options may include psychoanalysis, hypnosis, the stuff I just listed. But here's the thing. Psychoanalysis, hypnosis, behavioral therapy, cognitive therapy, drug therapy. If you catch on to what I'm trying to say, this is mostly something where psychotherapeutic studies of thoughts, emotions, behavior using free association of real unconscious conflict, symbolism or motivation. This is just a study. They find out what's the underlying causes of your problem. Doesn't fix it. On to the next. Hypnosis. Obviously, hypnosis doesn't require the will of the person. Hypnosis is basically trying to hypnotize somebody in a trance-like state to which they might be open to more suggestion. But again, not a good treatment. They don't do hypnosis anymore, not at least to anybody, and don't think any zoophile wants to be hypnotized into behaving normal. There was quotations there. Behavioral therapy, therapeutic approaches in which focus on the patient's observable behavior rather than on conflicts and unconscious processes presumed to underlie his manipulative behavior, accomplished through systematic manipulation of the environment and behavioral variables related to specific behaviors to be modified. Operant conditioning, systematic desensitization, token economy, whatever. But basically, again, not willed. You can't willingly fix this with studies. This is making it so that you don't think about it. This is what they did. Both this was something it's not as extreme, but behavioral therapy is the same thing we do to our animals. We reinforce it with pain, something they don't like. Here, it's not as tough. They change the environment. They change everything. They try to make it so you don't have to think about it. Their idea is if you don't think about it, it's not going to be a problem. Pretty much. If you guys think I'm wrong, then go ahead and check up the therapy thing. I understand half what they're saying, but systematic desensitization, token economy, adhesive control, flooding, and implosions are examples of techniques that may be used in behavioral therapy. Those don't sound safe or acceptable, especially a systematic desensitization, which means they're going to expose you to more of this shit. They're going to make it so it's not sexual to you anymore. You can do the same thing with a person who likes sex. Anywho, cognitive therapy, a direct form of psychotherapy based on the interpretation of situations to determine how an individual feels and behaves. It is based on the premise that cognition, the process of acquiring knowledge and forming beliefs, is primary determinant of mood and behavior. The therapy uses behavioral and verbal techniques to identify the correct negative thinking that is the root of the aberrant behavior. Again, not going to help it. Now, negative thinking. There is no negative thinking. We don't think negative about what we're doing. The only things it will fix is the depression. Probably. Because the only negative thinking is hating who we are because we aren't normal. But we wish we were. But we don't want to change. That's very weird thinking. But, anyway. Medication. Again, drug therapy, medication. You're medicating someone, which medication doesn't solve problems and doesn't fix anything. They're going to put you in something that's probably going to make you lower your sex drive, gets rid of the need to even have sex in general or whatnot. They don't list what the drugs are. I think they might list it down the page, and if they do, I'll read it. Anywho. These conditions present treatment challenges because they are often concealed and are not associated with guilt and shame. They are generally treated with psychotherapy and or medication. The type of setting, inpatient versus outpatient, of treatment utilized is dependent upon the degree of dysfunction the condition causes, as well as treat the behaviors posed to others. Treatments include psychotherapy, but whatever. Cognitive behavioral therapy, orgasmic reconditioning. I don't even want to know what orgasmic reconditioning is, but I'm going to fucking figure out what that one is. Also called masturbatory reconditioning, has been described as a serious technique for treating... What the fuck is this? This is starting to sound fucked up. Imagery during masturbation during interpersonal sexual activities is paramount importance in treating the sexual offender. Fantasies sustain urge, thus gaining action to such fantasies can be crucial in understanding sexual desires and reactions. However, client fantasies remain very much private, reserve of information inaccessible to the treatment provider unless until full trust is established. Therefore, techniques described here must be approached cautiously. Yeah. So what do they fucking this is a special importance in working with a sexual offender who most often does not enter treatment on an entirely voluntary basis. What the fuck? So, wait, what do they do? I'm confused. So, I don't know. You guys can hit me up with an actual better description than what Sage gave me. The fucking thing. There might be. Yeah. They used to do it. Okay, so they did do it to homosexuals. Anywho, yeah. Everything here, antidepressants, the medications I gave you, antidepressants, long-acting gonadotropin releasing hormones, medical castration, yeah, antidrogens, fensigns, and mood stabilizers. Oh, nice. They're all castration medicine. Nice, except for the antidepressant, the mood stabilizer. They all, if you take them, you ain't going to be having sex anytime soon. So, yeah, that's all I have to say on it. If you want to go ahead and take a look at it yourself, if you don't believe me, the link's in the description below. They all take you to other links which describe what we're talking about. But, again, overall, it is incurable. Unless you want to be castrated or fucking hypnotized. Or make it so they replace your sexual images that are in your head when you jerk it with something else. Doesn't sound quite right. So, for a zoophile, I recommend the only time you should ever see a therapist is to deal with your anxiety, depression, and thoughts of suicide. And if you're thinking of suicide, I could flash a hotline number on the screen, but that doesn't make me a good person. So instead, I'm willing to listen. Come to my Discord and talk. I'm willing to listen to you. If you have depression and you want to cry, that's no problem. If you want to talk about your feelings, we'll talk. I can't personally talk about this anyways, so yeah, I'm fucked anyways. So you can come talk to me if you don't want to talk to a therapist. You can talk to a zoophile by entering the Discord that I have listed in my channel description and the description below this video. But thanks for watching, and I hope to see you guys next week in another video whenever I get a chance. But keep in mind, I have told other people before that there are complications to recording. This has been my longest video, and it will be split into 2 parts, so thank you for watching the 2 parts and bearing with me. This has been a fun video, and going to be the video uploaded tomorrow, and I hope you all enjoyed.